Hello, my wonderful foodie friends, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name's Amanda, and I like to teach you how to start cooking without needing a recipe. Today, I'm making cilantro lime chicken, and funny story, I made it last week and had problems with my microphone. The sound didn't work, but I had posted a picture to Instagram, and my friend said, you got to make that again. So here I am making it again because it was so healthy, delicious, and light that I'm like, I can have that again next week. It was so great. Part of that dish is to make a homemade salsa. That salsa was so good that last night when I was making fish tacos, I'm like, I want to use that salsa. So I made the salsa last night, which I will link below. And this is a homemade peach salsa. And I used it last night on the fish taco, so it's super versatile. And tonight I'm gonna serve it again with the cilantro lime indoor grilled chicken. So the first thing we need to do is marinate our chicken. So I'm gonna gather up all the ingredients and well, let's get started, okay? All right, and just like that, we have a bunch of ingredients that we're gonna turn into a magic, amazing marinade. Now, the first thing is it's winter here in the Pacific Northwest, and my poor little honey bear is hard. And I don't want to put this in the microwave because this is raw honey. And when I use it on my toast and stuff, I want to preserve the enzymes and the really natural goodness that is in honey. But for this recipe, I need it to be a little bit more malleable. So I've got a mason jar because these you can pour boiling water in and they won't crack. And I'm gonna put my little honey bear in there. And I've got some boiling water, or almost boiling water, back here. And I'm going to carefully pour it on my honey bear. And while I put together the rest of the marinade, it'll give it time to soften the honey without destroying the enzymes that are in that honey because it won't get hot enough to kill off those good probiotics and enzymes. Okay, so first things first, I've got a couple of cloves of garlic. I'm going to smash them. Oh, this was one of those tricky ones where I thought it was a big clove, but it was actually like 3 little ones kind of smushed together. Oh, there's something on my counter here. Okay, again, using the side of my knife. And okay, smash, smash, smash. Sometimes when you smash them like that, it helps make them peel a little easier. My dog is in a mood today. He is barking at every construction vehicle that goes by. We live in a new development, and so there are still about 4 houses, I think, being built all around us. So we have lots of construction noises, but they're all coming to completion soon. Oh my gosh, this is not cooperating. Okay, they are all coming to completion soon, so we'll be done with the noises. But we knew that moving in, you know, I'm not really complaining. All right, so I'm gonna take these garlics, and I'm gonna take the back of my knife, and I'm just kind of bruising the garlic up a little bit. I don't want garlic pieces floating in my marinade because it'll stick to the chicken. And then when I go to put it in a high heat skillet later, the garlic would burn. But putting it in the marinade as whole pieces, I can easily pull them out. This is a Food Saver vacuum sealing marinade container. I will link and there's my Food Saver. I will link an Amazon affiliate down below on the Food Saver. Really recommend it. But if you don't have a vacuum sealing marinade container, just make sure you marinate, 4 hours ahead of time or overnight. Sometimes in a lot of dishes, I will tell you, hey, look, if you could do it 30 minutes before, it gives you extra flavor. And you could do that in this time, but I really do think this particular recipe benefits from a longer marinade. So I'm gonna put some soy sauce, about 1/4 cup. You're just eyeballing things. You're gonna have a chance to taste this marinade before we add the chicken. So that way you can start to learn, like, what do you like? Do you want it to be a little sweeter? Do you want it to be a little saltier? That kind of thing. So if you have fresh squeezed oranges, totally use them, and then just throw the whole entire orange with the peel and everything in the marinade. But today I'm just going to use some orange juice and some lime juice. And again, if you've got some fresh limes, go for it. Even better. But this is, I am so in love with this product. It is pure lime juice, not from concentrate. And I use it in like Thai inspired dishes. A lot of times call for lime. A lot of marinades benefit from the acidity of using lime juice, that kind of thing. So some olive oil, and I pulled out rice wine vinegar, but now that I think about it, I don't think I'm actually going to use that. I think the acidity from the lime juice and orange juice is plenty. A lot of times you want to put an acid in your marinade. It helps tenderize the meat. So the soy sauce itself is salty, but I'm also adding a little bit of just salt and a little bit of pepper. And if you like spicy stuff, you can put some red pepper flakes in your marinade. That would be a really good way to personalize this. Okay, now let's check, see if our honey is soft enough. So a lot of times in marinades, I use brown sugar. Whenever you have a sweetener in your marinade, it helps brown, it gives you that good brown look to your chicken that, you know, you eat with your eyes. So, I mean, it adds flavor too, but it helps caramelize the meat as you are cooking. Now, honey is a little bit more sensitive to burning than brown sugar. So I would say brown sugar is like a little bit more of a like beginner sugar that you might want to put in a marinade, because when you're cooking it at a high heat, it's not going to burn as quickly as I find honey does. But honey has a different flavor, so with the lime and the honey kind of balance off of each other. And oh, I just had a really amazing idea. Some tequila in here would be really good. I'm trying to decide if I want to do that. I think I'll leave it out today. But if you want to like kick it up even a little bit more, putting a splash of tequila in your marinade would be really good. Okay, it's cilantro lime chicken, so we want some cilantro. I put some cilantro in the salsa, and I'll probably serve some more just on top of the chicken at the end. But I want to save the pretty ends for when I'm doing pretty things in my dishes. But I just want the flavor of the cilantro in my marinade. So it's a perfect time to use the stems. I'm going to give these a quick rinse so they feel a little gritty. And they might have some sand on them. So I'm going to rinse them off, kind of dot them. There's a leaf that's kind of brown. I'm going to throw that out. And again, I'm going to use the back of my knife and just kind of bruise this cilantro up so that it can get some flavor into my marinade. All right, before I add that, it'll be easier to whisk this with, I'm kind of break up this honey because my hot water melted enough to get it down in here, but it's still kind of solid. Oh man, today the weather cannot make up its mind. It's like super sunny, and then it's hailing, and then it's sunny, and then it was hailing. I'm trying to get this marinade on really quick, and then I gotta go run some errands. My poor dog is allergic to dust mites, and he's out of his medication, so I've gotta go pick up his medicine. And I forgot to buy egg noodles, and tomorrow I'm making my husband's favorite faux parmesan for his birthday. He loves that dish, so we're celebrating his birthday at home tomorrow, and I want some egg noodles to go with my faux parmesan chicken. Okay, so I'm gonna run into the store and grab that. I hate it when I forget things. Like usually I go to the grocery store twice a week. I go for my main ingredients once time a week, and then I have to go to a specialty store because we drink raw milk because my kids are allergic. Different story for another day. But so I go to the grocery store, and then the rest of the week is make it work. And if I forget to buy egg noodles, I'll just use a different noodle or whatever. But for birthdays and special occasions, if I forget something, I'll run back out to the store and grab it. Okay, so chicken breasts these days are like insanely gigantic. So I like, for cooking reasons, they cook faster if you cut them in half. And for portion sizes too, I just prefer to cut these honkin' chicken breasts in half. So you want to have your palm flat on your chicken, the fingers, you want to have a nice good pressure. And you're going to take your knife and parallel to your cutting board as evenly as possible, not cutting towards your stomach, trying to cut away. If you can cut this way, even better, but I haven't quite mastered that. So you're going to keep it even and keep the pressure, especially when you get to the end here. Try to make sure that you don't dip down. And if they're not perfectly even, which mine rarely are, especially the first one for some reason, don't worry about it. Okay, we've got a family of 4, so we usually eat just half a chicken breast each. And I'm gonna serve this with rice tonight, but I want some leftovers, so I'm gonna go ahead and make up 6 of these, or 3 chicken breasts, so. All right, cut them in half. Another thing you can do is, like with the back of your knife or meat tenderizer, kind of tenderize them a little bit. I didn't do that to those though, so I don't worry about getting out a meat pounder because the back of your knife really does do a good job. Okay. You can see I'm so consistent. 2 of my are going to be tenderized and the rest aren't. Let me put these in the sink, and I'm going to kind of make sure these all get coated. Now, if you aren't using a vacuum sealer, like, you know, halfway through, kind of like rotate them around if you need to in the sauce. But if you coat them really good, and then especially with the vacuum sealer, it sucks all the air out and it just like pushes the marinade into your meat. So like the vacuum sealer, even though I'm doing this at almost 1 o'clock and I'm going to be cooking them at like probably 4:30 or 5, it makes it seem like they have been marinating overnight. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands and then we'll vacuum seal them up. All right, so I got the Food Saver vacuum sealer, and I just want to show you how to use it if you've got one of these. You just make sure you line up these tabs because it really makes a difference when you're trying to open it after you vacuum seal. And I'm going to dial this to the part where it says marinade, and we just put this in, we push the button, and we hit the marinade button. All right, and then you turn it from marinade over to closed. And I think they're newer versions. They have this little tab that like sucks in so you can see it working. But if you just kind of tug on this gently, it will give you enough pressure and you'll like, it's like, okay, it's sealed. So now I'm just gonna set this in the refrigerator until later tonight when I will show you how to cook them up. For me, it'll be several hours. For you, it'll be like 5 seconds. All right, guys, so we are back. I'm in a different outfit. It got really chilly today as the day went on. So I took off my short sleeve and put on this long sleeve t-shirt. So I have my marinated chicken that's been in the refrigerator. And one of my favorite parts is opening it because you get to hear it hiss. It's like letting all the air back into the container. And then like I showed you earlier, it just, like, it's so easy to open once the vacuum seal is gone. Oh my gosh, that aroma just hit my nose. The lime, the garlic. Oh, this dinner is so good, guys. I can't even. Did I just say that? I did just say that. Okay. We need to get our skillet piping hot. And I should have actually did that before I hit play because it takes a while. Cast iron is amazing to cook in, but it does take a while to get hot. But once it is hot, the heat stays distributed across the bottom of the pan really nicely. So whenever I want that like indoor grilled kind of flavor, I pull out my cast iron skillet. I mean, not always, but it is my go-to. I just really love it. So one thing that, like I said earlier, that we do have to watch out for is that there is honey in this marinade, and that honey will burn. So we have to make sure we put in plenty of oil that will kind of protect the chicken a little bit, or protect the honey, and keep an eye on it. But I'm going to show you a cool trick. I think I did this in one of my other videos, but at this point I'm not even sure. To show you how you know when your skillet is the right heat. So I'm just getting like a tiny little bit of water, and I actually keep an eyedropper because I do this method to check the heat of my skillet all the time. So but you can just use a little spoon, but you just want to try to get a couple drops. So when it bubbles up like that, which I think you can see, it's kind of just boiling really quick. So that means our skillet's hot, but it's not as hot as we want for a really good sear. So we're gonna give this a good a minute. I'm not actually super familiar with cooking on a Teflon skillet. So I haven't cooked on a Teflon skillet. I mean, it's been many years. So I'm not sure how, I mean, I think if you just get it hot enough, the same thing, you know, you're going to get that good sear. Watson, it's not time for dinner yet. You got to wait. He gets so confused. My kids just got home from Taekwondo, per usual. And they just went upstairs, and my husband's upstairs, and my puppy right here is like, Mama, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Oh yes, I'm talking to you now, Watson. You're such a good boy. He's like, okay, good boy, where is my treat? Okay, no, you need to get off. Okay, let's check this again. See, it's still, what we want it to do is it's gonna get so hot that it's going to ball up and dance around the skillet. So I've got it on high, and we're just being patient with this because it will pay us back in great rewards with our patience. And I always debate, do I cut and just wait? Do I visit with y'all? Because that's kind of what I want. Like, I would like to be visiting with y'all, having y'all comment down below, leaving questions and that I can answer in the comments. Or I'm like, oh, people want short videos. And I'm like, I'm just a verbose kind of person. So hopefully if you found my channel and you're enjoying my content, you like listening to me talk, because it's just really not gonna change much. I'm a talky kind of person. So I do appreciate your time and value your time. So I do try to cut out, you know, really long, boring wait times when it is appropriate, but this is actually taking a little bit longer than I remembered because I'm not usually like worried about it. Well, normally what I would actually be doing is the salsa that I'm going to serve with this, I'd be like over there prepping it. But since I made the salsa last night for the fish tacos, it's already ready and to go for me. So, and I'm just going to serve this dinner tonight with a side salad. Oh, it's almost getting there. Just a bagged up side salad that I'll throw together at the last minute. And I have rice that just finished off in the Instapot. I thought my Instapot was dying. I looked it up. I've had my Instapot for 3.5 years. This, the mini one. The big one I've had even longer than that. Love it. It has given me many like uses, but I thought it was dying, but tonight it seemed to work. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go slow, measure my rice and like be careful and see, but because the last couple times I've made rice in it, the rice has come out sticky. And it's because I think I was measuring it wrong, because I bought a new rice storage container thing and it came with this scoop and I was using it, and I don't think it's 1 cup. I need to do some more scientific research because I was using that scoop and it was throwing off my... Okay, let me show you what this dancing water is that I'm talking so much about. Okay, so when it's hot, it's gonna, there we go, kind of ball up and dance a little bit more. You see how it kind of balls up? So this skillet is super, and we need to get some oil in it because we don't want, I'm actually gonna lower the heat now. Okay, because that's really hot. We want to get the chicken in because we don't want the oil to catch on fire. And okay, I'm trying to pull off the cilantro. Okay, it's gonna make loud noise. Okay, I dropped the chicken in and away from me so it doesn't splash up. Oh, come on. Cilantro. Woo! And I can get about 4 pieces in my skillet. Sorry, I hope y'all can hear me. Okay, I got so talkative. Okay. So it really doesn't, because we cut it in half like that, it's really not going to take that long to cook. But we're going to not mess with it, because if you flip it back and forth a lot of times, you're not going to get that color that you're looking for. It's called the Maillard effect. Where the meat caramelizes and gets brown. If you keep flipping it, it's not going to have contact with the skillet long enough to get that sear that we want. So I'm going to let it hang out for a couple of minutes, and then I will flip it, and we're going to check it with an instant read thermometer because we just want to make sure that our chicken cuts all the way through. So I will go ahead and cut here and come back when it's time to flip. Oh, and now that I put that cold chicken in, so okay, I cut and then I hit play again. My pan, I can already hear it's cooled down quite a bit. So I did go ahead and turn up the dial again. You just need to kind of play with it. And if it feels like it's getting too hot, or you notice that if you peek under, like you kind of give it like a little peek and the honey looks like it's starting to blacken, lower the heat and just kind of dance with it, and you know, you'll be good. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I grabbed my bagged salad out of the refrigerator, and my chicken is starting to get that brown color that I want. Oh, look at that. So I'm just flipping it over. Yep. Okay, so this one's trying to stick a little bit, so it's not ready to flip. They should be able to just pull up right away. If it's sticking like that, then give it a few more minutes and it will pull up from the pan without fighting you. If you make it, it's gonna separate and tear and leave chicken to your skillet. So just be patient with it. Okay, we're gonna give this one a try now. Oh, I waited almost a little too long, so it's kind of got a little darker than I want, but that's okay. It's actually not kind of all the way burnt, and if it does, we'll just cut that part off. But actually, I think that's just the edge of char that you would want to get. You don't want to go past that. But that's that honey. Whenever I cook with brown sugar, I don't tend to get that. All right, so I'm gonna lower the heat now because the skillet is now hot enough to give me that sear that I want on the other side, but I don't want it to burn, you know, as it needs time for the heat to go all the way up through the skillet. And then I'll remove these and cook these other 2 chicken breasts that I've got off to the side. And we'll be back in a second. Okay, so let's go ahead and give these a little poke and see where we're at. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a perfect cook, but I am a real cook. So actually, I'm gonna eat this piece because I like it when they get dark like that. So it's at 120, and because it's still getting a pretty good color on this side too, I'm going to lower the skillet even more. If you're worried about your skillet just got too hot, if you've got a glass top stove, pull it off of the heat because the glass will keep your skillet hot too. You can also add a little bit of water to the pan, and that'll cool it down too quick if you just got it too hot. Mine is still good. I'm not worried about it yet, but it does need to cook a little bit longer. So I'm just putting it down on low right now because I don't want it to keep browning. I just want it to cook through. Another good tip is to, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and do, I don't have a lid for this skillet, but I've got a big cookie sheet. And so, that's so much quieter. If I lower the temperature and then put a lid on it, that's gonna keep that heat in and like help it cook through without, you know, that high intense heat that's browning it. So, all right, we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this thinner piece is cooked through. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. And I bet you this one is too, because it's pretty small. You know, if I did everything perfectly, would you actually really learn anything? Like, if I make mistakes and show you how to recover from them, then we're here as a team working together, right? Okay, yep, I was right. This one is good. Okay, now I'm gonna put these two in on this side of the skillet. Wash this off real quick. And give this one a poke. It was a little bit thicker, but it's still kind of small, so we'll see where it's at. Oh. Okay, good. We tasted that salad and I'm like, oh my God, am I talking with like lettuce and spinach in my teeth? But no, we're good. We're good. So it's at 150, so not quite. Very stubborn. I've gone back up to medium. My skillet's cooled down a bit. Now these, as you can see, are picking up a different color because they're picking up kind of almost the sauce that's in the pan. They're not actually getting that, what I call the Maillard effect, where the chicken meat actually got brown. This is just loose, you know, sauce that's kind of like worked its way off. I mean, it's still tasty. But you know, like a professional chef would probably start with a clean skillet and make sure it's hot, piping hot again and all of that. But you know, we're just getting dinner on the table. Okay. I can be so impatient. That's why an instant read, this is called an instant read thermometer. I need to get one that's actually a little faster because this is not instant, but when dinner time rolls around and I'm hungry and it smells so freaking delicious, it is good to have a thermometer to tell me, no, Amanda, you need to be patient and put that chicken back in your skillet and leave it alone. All right, I'm gonna cover this up again and just let it alone for a minute. I'm gonna pull my peach salsa out. Ready for dinner. All right, well, I got those first 4 done, and so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video while those last 2 just do their thing, but same principle going on. I want to, and of course I'll put a picture of the whole plated thing at the beginning and the end of the video like I always do. And then I just wanna take a moment to thank you for your time and that you spent some time in my kitchen with me. And I really appreciate that. And also, if you would hit that subscribe button, that's a good way to let me know that you enjoyed my content and my chattery self. And please leave a comment, introduce yourself. I like to get to know who's watching these videos. And we'll see you next time. Bye.